Jim Davis against Henry Scipio. Make sure we got that last name right from Henry.
Once again, players need 3 p.m.
We'll be underway here in just a moment.
Your next round
In round number 6 here in Milwaukee.
Legacy Challenge. Please find your seats.
And we're going to start off with the Celestial Colonnade. Classic Jim Davis play. Classic. There's a Grove of the Burn Willows. Go back over to Davis now. Grove of the Burn Willows actually doesn't give away much what Scipio is playing.
Yeah, in the dark, I guess I would assume a Tron strategy of some sort.
Red-green Tron could be some sort of green-red Eldrazi deck.
Something Loam.
Yeah.
Associated with Loam. Yeah.
No, it'll be given away now because he's probably going to cycle like, Desert Ceradon. But
the Ceradon.
Yes. Amonkhet's finest creature. Cycle Street Wraith too. Down to 18. So now Davis knows exactly what he's up against. Oh, is that an Expedition?
That is an Expedition.
Bingo!
Good.
That's bingo!
I think I'm OX. I don't think I've won one of these yet.
I don't think you have either. That's bingo, folks. Team Cedric wins again. You and your Johnny Caller the Pride, you cherish that moment because you're never going to beat me at anything ever again.
Yeah.
How about that? And don't bring up that Padres game either.
I'm gonna have to take my dubs in the skill games.
That's bingo. This felt very skillful to me.
Yeah.
I really earned this. Card has 5+ counters. Liliana the Last Hope. Player discards Lingering Souls. Caleb Durward. Dark Confidant reveals land. Andrew Tenjum, as there's cycling a Horror of the Broken Lands. Player draws a card with Horizon Canopy. Multiple people. Expedition on the battlefield. I didn't like winning with Expedition on the battlefield.
No one does.
Because who would?
Right.
But I'll take it. Sometimes you got to take it to the streets, as Owen Turnwall would say. Get a little grimy out there. One of these times you'll win. It feels good, too, trust me. It feels better than you think, especially if you do it without the free square.
Yeah. I question how frequently Owen Turnwall has in his life taken it to the streets.
More than you think. The O-Dog, the O-Rat. We're in his city, man.
That's true.
Yeah.
We are.
He's probably taking it to these streets a lot. Sulfur Falls here from Jim. We're going to cycle another Horror of the Broken Lands.
Big additions in Amonkhet to this strategy.
I do like when, these just random cards and commons add to a modern deck. It's like you no longer do you have to play Jungle Weaver, Pale Recluse, and other horrible, horrible cycling cards. Monstrous Caribid, which some people still do play. But, you get to actually play some creatures like Desert Ceradon's actually, not bad. It's better than Deadshot Minotaur. That's for sure. So some real additions to Living End. Not quite sure what the holdup is here.
Yeah.
I feel like I may have missed something.
Is there something with...
He didn't draw from a cycle while fetching, apparently, is what occurred.
Oh, okay.
See if there's a way to fix that.
Okay, just making sure that everything's clean here, and it looks like we're moving on without any trouble.
Okay. Well, that's good. Let's make it easy.
Monstrous Caribid.
That's
Desert
right.
Ceradon.
Mm-hmm.
Archfiends of Ifnir.
Mm-hmm.
Horror of Broken Lands.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of the new stuff now.
Yeah.
In terms of the cycling creatures.
Here's another Horror of the Broken Lands being placed in the graveyard. There's the Caribid.
So now we've hit this point where Scipio is able to, get all of his graveyard on the battlefield. It's going to be a one-shot kill. So Davis is going to have to play very defensively for the foreseeable future.
Well, Jim is going to have to keep up appearances because his hand stinks. I think his hand is like Jace, Spell Snare, Snapcaster Mage, and no way to counter a Living End. There's an Overgrown too. So he's got to hope that Scipio only has Demonic Dreads in hand or has drawn a lot of copies of
Living End itself.
Living End itself, yeah. 'Cause I don't even think Jim has a Cryptic Command in his hand.
And one of the bad parts here for Davis is that Scipio could just sort of clarify the game state by just casting a Fulminator Mage, which Davis can't fight over. So then Davis would be down the Colonnade. And at that point, Scipio's less concerned about sweepers and can just push.
We're making a move? Now we're going to do some more cycling. Draw a card. Cycle Street Wraith. Demonic Dread. Beast within something.
I would guess the Colonnade.
Field of Ruin that. Don't let him have a creature, man. He's got Demonic Dread in his deck.
I think Field of Ruining here, that's just like, that seems just too costly. I don't know.
Right.
At least if you keep up the appearance that you have Cryptic Command, Scipio might not go for it. You put your shields down, and then that's that.
Give him a life. This is so nice. Here's Fulminator Mage.
And
No life
I
necessary.
really like how Scipio's proceeding here. He's not just going for broke. He respects the possibility that Davis has a counterspell, and he's just going to bleed it out of him.
Jim's hand right now, Spell Snare, Snapcaster Mage, Jace the Mind Sculptor, 2 lands. Let's see what he draws. Serum Vision strategy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get in there, Todd Anderson. Clean block. Sacrifice that to blow up a land and take care of steam vents. There's a Flooded Strand. Just representing Cryptic Command. Very hard right now is Jim Davis. I'm curious to see if Henry's ever going to make a move.
Well, he's got to respect the possibility of getting bolted and Snapcaster out of the game. So even though Jim's playing a control deck, Scipio knows that he doesn't have all the time to set up. But
there's Fulminator again.
I like the slow bleed here of just... This is going to be disruptive towards Cryptic Command, and if Jim doesn't put anything onto the table, and you just have the opportunity to go for it when he's down to 3 mana or less, then it resolves. You blow up the rest of his lands, and, you know, not too hard to win from that spot.
Is this Serum Visions now, maybe?
And I like Scipio here also hanging back with the Fulminator Mage because he respects the possibility of getting bolted out. Maybe there's some cost to letting Davis go to his main phase with that extra mana, but keeping your life total high, especially at 12, getting hit in increments of 3, that lines up with bolts the wrong way.
Cycle Archfiend of Ifnir, excuse me, Street Wraith. I can get that one right. Down to 10. Sacrifice a fetch land, down to 9. Only takes 3 attacks from that beast token now.
Yeah, and plus whatever happens with lightning bolts and helixes too. So that's an important point of life right there.
All right, we'll head back over to Scipio. Cycle Street 7. What's going on in his hand?
I think he's looking for 2 copies of a Cascade card. If you're respecting Cryptic Command, that's the easiest way to play around it, is just have 2 spells.
There's Demonic Dread. All right, here we go.
Because this game is over if these resolve, because you get back the Fulminator Mages and really just go after his mana.
There's Living End. That resolves. I have nothing.
So I think Henry did a really good job of respecting Cryptic Command and navigating the game in such a way that he could play around it. Ends up that Davis didn't have it, but Scipio doesn't know that. And look at this collection of 9th picks. I guess the Archfiend was pretty good.
You didn't pass that
Archfiend
one.
was good.
Yeah, you didn't pass Archfiend. Don't sell our old friend Desert Ceradon short either.
Yeah.
Okay. He used to give some beatdowns back in his day. Jim will draw a lightning bolt, pick up the rest of his permanents, and move along here as Henry Scipio is going to win again and run here over Jim Davis. Jim trying not to cry, to make a smile. I had nothing the whole time. It's okay, but Henry did play that game well. Even though Jim had nothing, he didn't know that. And bought some time, did his thing, got set up, got himself into a very good position, and won the game. So Living End very quickly up a game here with Jeskai Control. These players will sideboard and get ready here for game number 2. We will do the same here in just a moment, but first, a few messages from our sponsors. We are back. Henry Scipio, Jim Davis getting ready here for game number 2 as Living End currently up a game here over Jeskai Control. We turn our attention to the sideboards here. Davis with his 2 Ancestral Visions, 2 Vanilla and click 2 Dispel. A Blessed Alliance, a Gideon Ally, Zendikar, Anger of the Gods, Elspeth, Sun's Champion, Wear Tear is a Staticaster, Celestial Purge, Negate Engineer Explosives. Not a lot of good ones there, it looks like.
I don't mind the Vendilion clicks in this matchup. I think they're okay. The Gideon for some additional pressure. Elspeth's pretty potent if you can get on the battlefield, and if Scipio's playing kind of a longer game, trying to play around Cryptic Commands and other counters, you might be able to resolve that. Pretty hard for Living End to win through that card. And the Negate, good here as well.
I got 3 Shriek Maws, 3 Ingot Chewers, 2 Lost Legacy, 2 Ricochet Trap, 2 Fairy Macabre, 2 Blood Moon, and Anger of the Gods here for Henry.
Same 60.
Yeah?
Maybe the Blood Moons.
Why not the Ricochet Traps? Counter spell?
How many counters do you think? Maybe it's fine. It's probably fine. Probably fine.
I think Jim probably has at least 5 counter spells that matter.
Sure.
Let me take a look.
Then
Let me take a look. Let's see. He's got 3 Cryptics, 3 Logic Knots. He does not have a lot of ways to counter Living End. Jeez. This matchup does not seem very good for him.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a whole lot of sweepers.
No, he's got like 1. He's got, well, Anger of the Gods, which is horrible here. And he's got a Supreme Verdict, which is decidedly mediocre. Yeah, this might be tough for him.
No, he's not well equipped for this matchup.
Because Scipio doesn't actually, he could just play like he did game 1. He doesn't need to rush.
No.
At all. There's a search for his Kanta. Very powerful card. But which one's more powerful, really? Desert Ceradon, obviously.
Hard to know.
Yeah.
I mean, Scipio's already got his card to show for it.
Yeah.
Davis just has a thing on the table.
Here's a stomping
1
crowd.
mana versus 2.
Yeah. 1 from attacks.
Really nice for Scipio, Davis here, rather, to open up on 2 basics, though. I mean, he does need to fix his mana at some point, but having a little bit of protection against Fulminator Mage, not the worst.
Celestial Colonnade will be the land number 3. It's another Ceradon. This is over.
Going off.
My goodness. Let's go back over to Henry. He'll cycle a Street Wraith. Draw another card. Demonic Dread in hand now. There's a Verdant Catacomb. Sacrifice this.
Looks like you might have a spell to play here.
Basic Swamp. Is it time for perhaps a Fulminator Mage?
It's a good way to test the waters.
Nothing right now, actually. Search for his Kanta.
I think Davis currently out of land drops.
Looks like Snapcaster Mage will go to the graveyard. Picked up a Flooded Strand for the turn.
Yeah, that's a painful one, but I think Davis just on the hunt for land number 4 right now.
Jim does have Supreme Verdict in hand.
And Jim also knows it's just not safe for him to go, all right, I'll keep the Snapcaster on top, Snapcaster, Serum Vision, try to find my land that way. The likelihood that you get killed or your lands get blown up or whatever, you got to keep your mana up a little bit.
Serum Visions. Jim will draw. And now he'll scry twice. Lightning Helix, Hollow Fountain. They'll both go to the bottom. Not interested in either one. Davis will pass the turn back. This is a Violent Outburst. So we'll see Henry cascade in the Living End. I see. Jim's saying, just place that there because it's on the stack. The card after Cascade resolve, the Cascade card resolves first, then Violent Outburst resolves. So it is important to use the stack appropriately. You see Ricochet Trap is a card that he's gone by, so that's an after sideboard for Henry. There's Living End. Jim says, can I take a look at those cards that you have gone by via Cascade? Get a little bit of information here. He'll see the Ricochet Trap. So those will go to the bottom.
So this is the dilemma here. The obvious play, will you just Logic Not for 1? Playing against a deck with Simian Spirit Guide. If you overpay by taxing your graveyard, then you're further away from Search for his Kanta flipping, and Davis needs mana.
Does he have Simian Spirit Guide in his deck?
Oh yeah, 3.
He's got 3, okay.
Yeah. And you see Davis going here for a little bit of an overpay. It's a weird balance because you're pushing your as Kanta flip back a little bit, but
does he have 2?
Oh my!
There's Ricochet trapping. Okay, that'll work too.
Yep. No way for Davis to have played around this set of events.
Yep.
And now that's lethal.
Yeah, and Jim is like, yeah, I'm dead. I can't win. Bunch of Desert Ceradon's going to come back, and that's going to do it. So Henry Scipio is going to win this game and match over Jim Davis. 2-0. Living End going to destroy Jeskai Control. And this is clearly a matchup that Jim Davis is not prepared for. Has basically no hate in his sideboard, no real